The nominations for the 90th Academy Awards will be announced at 8:22 a.m. Tuesday. The Oscars will be handed out on March 4. 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri and The Shape of Water have won top honors at various awards shows, but no film has emerged as a clear Oscar favorite. Will the Me Too movement affect the nominations? Could a nomination for James Franco cause backlash? Netflix is hoping to snag its first Best Picture nomination courtesy of Mudbound. Campaigning for the 90th Academy Awards has been going on in Hollywood for 5 months, with films falling over themselves to claim the cultural zeitgeist. Get Out is about racism and cultural appropriation, the film's Get Out the Vote team says, but also, in this Me Too moment, about the abuse of power. 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri sees itself as the most topical. It's got a woman demanding attention on a sexual predator, red state anger and commentary about racist policing. It also has its detractors. Others say The Crown should go to the Post, with its depiction of a woman coming into her own as a leader and taking a stand against the kind of attacks on journalists that resonate today. And don't forget The Shape of Water, about outcasts and monsters, or Lady Bird, with its nuanced mother-daughter relationship and self-confident central character. But no contender has yet rallied unconditional support. Will one snare enough Oscar nominations to establish itself as the film to beat when the awards are handed out on March 4? 3 billboards is in the best position. It won the top prize at the Screen Actors Guild Awards on Sunday. But The Shape of Water won the highest Producers Guild honor on Saturday, a recognition that often predicts the Best Picture winner at the Oscars. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences allows the Best Picture category to have as many as 10 or as few as 5 nominees, depending on how the organization's 8,400 members spread their support. There were 9 last year. All of the aforementioned films have a good shot to get in, along with Dunkirk and Call Me by Your Name. That's 7. Prognosticators see Tanya, The Florida Project, Darkest Hour, Mudbound and The Big Sick as fighting for the remaining slots. That likely means the end of the road for hopefuls like All the Money in the World, Wind River and Wonder Woman. They can always hope for an envelope mix-up. Expect a Best Actress nomination for Frances McDormand, a 4-time nominee and a winner for Fargo in 1997. She has won Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild trophies for her lead performance in 3 billboards. Joining her will undoubtedly be Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird and Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. Gary Oldman's performance as Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour will almost assuredly land him a Best Actor nod. Hollywood will be shocked if Timothée Chalamet, Call Me by Your Name, and James Franco, The Disaster Artist, fail to join him in the Best Actor category. Mr. Franco's inclusion, however, would put the Academy in an uncomfortable spot. At least 5 women have accused him of inappropriate or sexually exploitative behavior, allegations his lawyer has disputed. Representatives for Mr. Franco have referred reporters to his statements on late-night shows. Many Academy voters have long insisted that art should be separated from the artist, that the Oscars should be about assessing the caliber of work, and that concerns about off-screen behavior should be cleaved away. Just last year, voters overlooked Casey Affleck's past settlements with women who accused him of sexual harassment to name him Best Actor. But that stance has been harder to maintain as women have come forward in recent months to accuse men like Harvey Weinstein, Brett Ratner, and James Chubak of sexual misconduct. Many of these men, Mr. Weinstein, most notably used the Oscars as a shield. The Academy kicked him out in October. What kind of impact could the Me Too movement and the Time's Up initiative have on the nominations? Mr. Franco is one person to watch, as is Meryl Streep, who plays the newspaper publisher Katharine Graham in The Post. Ms. Streep has been criticized in some quarters for her assertion that she hadn't known about allegations involving Mr. Weinstein. If voters snubbed the Florida Project, it could be because of harassment claims against one of that film's producers, Andrew Duncan, who stepped down from his independent production company in December while denying wrongdoing. In wake of the Oscars So White backlash in 2015 and 2016, the Academy mounted an effort to double female and minority membership. But even after 2 years of the initiative, the Academy remains 72% male and 87% white. Snubs, perceived or real, for The Big Sick and Get Out, each centered on an interracial couple, could prompt pushback, as could the exclusion of Mudbound, a Netflix movie about black and white farmers in rural Mississippi in the 1940s. Minority actors vying for nominations include Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out, Hong Chow, Downsizing, Mary J. Blige, Mudbound, and Octavia Spencer, The Shape of Water. There are no Hispanic contenders. Perhaps to make up for that absence, the Academy invited 4 Latina actresses: Michelle Rodriguez, Salma Hayek, Zoe Saldana, and Rosario Dawson to help announce the nominees on Tuesday morning. Also invited to participate were 6 other women: Michelle Yeoh, Molly Shannon, Priyanka Chopra, Rebel Wilson, Gal Gadot, Tiffany Haddish, and one man, Andy Serkis. Hollywood's best shot at showing that it is serious about inviting more women and people of color into its rarefied top ranks may come from the directing category. In particular, pundits will be watching to see if 2 filmmakers, Greta Gerwig, who directed and wrote Lady Bird, and Jordan Peele, the African-American director and writer behind Get Out, receive directing and screenwriting nominations. The Mexican director Guillermo del Toro is almost guaranteed a slot for willing The Shape of Water into existence. He won at the Golden Globes. Most prognosticators assign the 5th nomination to Martin McDonagh, 3 Billboards, which would squeeze out Steven Spielberg. The Post. The Academy's old guard has resisted a push by Netflix to join the Best Picture Club, arguing that, since Netflix only gives its films token releases in theaters, its offerings should be better considered by Emmy voters. Netflix has doggedly campaigned for Oscars, though, and last year won the documentary short prize for The White Helmets. This year, Netflix is hoping for its first Best Picture nomination for Mudbound, which could also receive attention in the supporting actress and adapted screenplay categories. Netflix also has 2 documentaries vying for nominations: Icarus, about Russian doping in sports, and Strong Island, about the 1992 murder of a young black man. For its part, Amazon has aggressively pushed The Big Sick as a Best Picture contender, despite the Academy's aversion to comedies. But Amazon is already ahead of Netflix in its campaign to be taken seriously by the film establishment. Amazon, which has allowed its films to play extensively in theaters before appearing online, won 3 Oscars last year. 2 were for Manchester by the Sea and 1 for The Salesman, a foreign film.